Hey, so in today's video, we're going to talk about how to sell your Amazon business. Today, I have Tomer David with me. He sold his Amazon business. So I'm really curious to know how to do it, what it takes, what's the process, is it worth it? So we're going to talk about these things today. And for those who are looking to sell their businesses, I think it's going to be helpful. We're going to have in the description, if it's okay, Tomer, we're going to have the broker that you have sold your business with. If you, the viewer, would be interested in selling your Amazon business, we'll have the details of the broker. You'll be able to talk to them. If you mention Tomer, maybe the broker will kind of know that you're coming from someone. And I'm not sure if you have, Tomer, any affiliate agreement with the broker, but that could be cool to support Tomer's content with Sourcing Monster. They have YouTube channel, blog, many different sources of information for Amazon sellers. Tomer himself has a course for Amazon sellers. We're going to have it in the description. So, man, Tomer, can you introduce yourself, man? And then we're going to dive into the topic of how to sell an Amazon business.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Bova. I think it's the first time we're doing a video call that will be in the channel. Of course, I want you to be a guest on my channel to share your experience, kind of journey in the Amazon space, and how you kind of living. Right now you're in India, which is very cool, while you travel and work at the same time. So it's really cool thing that I'm sure a lot of my viewers will enjoy. Yeah, thank you again for having me. Started to sell on Amazon, I think now it's 4 years already. After a long time in the e-commerce space, about like 12 years. Now, actually, we're at 2013. It's 15 years already. I'm used to count from the moment I started Amazon. And the Amazon kind of thing really grabbed my attention because of the benefits of having it. You can operate a really big business working from anywhere in the world, which is, it's crazy. You can also operate relatively a big business with small team or just being a solopreneur, which is it's amazing. Something that you can't really find or do in any other business. So that really grabbed my attention to shift from being in in the e-commerce space, having a factory, an office and employees, to moving to a smaller kind of operation that is lean, and I can do it from anywhere. Right now, I'm working from my home for the last few years. So it's really amazing. And yeah, like you mentioned, the topic is about how to sell your business, how I sold my Amazon business. That's what I did last year after, hearing a lot of people, the buzz that were, I think, a year and a half or 2 years ago, that every Amazon seller wanted to sell their business or exit. I was very curious how it worked, and I started the process and eventually sold it last year.
Nice, man. So definitely good to have you here with us. And as you mentioned, you sold the business. And so first, like, what made you want to sell? Because if you're having a 6-7 figure business, it's producing good money every month. What made you want to sell it? Because like it's a cash cow sort of machine, especially if you've brought it to a level where it's just working, growing, and it's a healthy business. What makes you want to sell it then?
Yeah, good, great question. So that's the most common question that I get, I think, from not Amazon sellers, because they're not sure why selling. So you mentioned it's a cash cow business, but it's not really. It's an inventory business. An inventory business means that you, on the paper, I could make 100 or 120,000 a month in profit on the chart, but I don't see that money. In order to grow and sustain these numbers, I had to keep pouring that money into buying more inventory. Or you always have that fear. You have those numbers, you make 50,000 or 60,000 profit, you have that fear of losing it. And I think every Amazon seller have it. And because you have that fear, you always want to keep launch new products, because Amazon products have a shelf life. So there will, let's say you make 50,000 today, it's not going to stay forever. You always have to think about the future and adding more products. And in order to add more products, you need to keep investing that money. So it's not that it's a passive, or a business that don't require you to keep investing and you see that money. I didn't see that money. Yeah, I was, if you make 100,000, you can take 10 or 20 or 30,000. But it was a scary thing for me. I felt that, Amazon kind of holding all my eggs in kind of one basket, and that basket was Amazon. So I wanted to really relieve that sense of fear for myself, and that was the main reason why I wanted to sell, to be honest. It's not
Makes
that it
sense.
wasn't a good business. It just was that my personal fear of losing it all.
Yeah, makes sense, man. Like it's inventory-based business. You're right. We were having a call the other day, and I was sharing with you like my affiliate business and all that, and it's totally different. I love both of them. I love selling on Amazon, and I love the affiliate side of things. But on the affiliate side of things, I don't have inventory, so that's I can create a lot of content. I can not create content. The cash flow will, I guess, continue coming if you build it in a specific way. So yeah, I mean, inventory-based business, it's not easy. It's not easy even on your mind in a way. If even if you let it go, like still, it's like it's there. You gotta buy the inventory. You gotta, even if you're making good money, still like you gotta buy more inventory because it's growing. And so kind of you still like giving back to the business a lot, which is fine. So you said like that was one of the things that made you kind of start thinking about it and then taking action. How did you start the process? Like where did you go to YouTube? How to sell an Amazon business? Maybe how people found this video, I'm hoping. Or maybe did you ask someone? Did you hear a webinar? How did you like get to a stage like, okay, now I need to do something? And what did you do?
Yeah, so to be honest, from the beginning, I built my business so it will be sellable. I don't know where I heard that or why I did it, to be honest, but I kind of built everything to be ready to do that. Even I thought, at least I thought that I'm building it to be ready to be sold. After I started the process, I see that, yeah, I did a lot of great things that other sellers didn't do from the beginning, but still I had a lot of work to do. I was actually exposed to the idea of selling through a post on Facebook of a company. That's before all the buzz kind of started. But for that company, that what they do is they buy equity. They buy not full 100% of your brand, and you are staying as an operator with equity. And basically, the idea really kind of, was grabbing my attention because I believed in my business. It didn't really reach the peak of it. And I thought that, that's really great idea for me. If I can sell 50% or 40% or 60%, I didn't even care about having control in the business while cashing and securing some money. That was the best idea because, again, I believed in the business, but it didn't reach the peak. I thought that, with the right amount of money and a buyer that would buy half of it, we can grow it even more. And from my end, I can relieve that stress and fear that I had because I can secure some, money and earnings that I did in that business. So this process didn't really went through. It fall in the middle. This company, they bought few businesses and in this kind of structure, but it didn't work with me. But this opened me to the idea of, and then I actually got a message from one of the aggregators that they wanted to buy me. And I said, you know what? Yeah, sure, why not? I send them my P&L, I gave them access to my Amazon, and then bam, they send me an LOI, which is letter of intent, which is an official letter that shows that they want to buy your business with simple terms and the amount of money. And that's actually really opened my eyes because that was I think it was for $1 million or 1.1. And then I said, wow, it's like kind of tangible. It's real. When this offer came through, I talked with a good friend of mine. You know her, Sharon Even, same last name as you.
Yeah.
And she actually introduced me to the broker that did the transaction on my sale. They looked at the numbers and I kind of asked them for their opinion, and they mentioned that obviously it's your decision, but we think that you could get much more if you just wait a little more and you kind of organize your business in a better structure that could maximize the selling price.
The broker that you worked with, can you mention them? Is it okay? Because let's
Yeah,
say
of course, their name is Fortunet. And like you said at the beginning of the video, if you're planning to sell, reach out to me and I can introduce you to them, and then you will get a much better commission rate or a deal because they are not really a broker. They're called investment banking. Basically, what they do is they are on your favor. They really making sure that you maximize the exit and the sell price that you get, and they take money from you. They don't take money from the buyer, and that's really eliminate the conflict of interest that a lot of brokers have, because sometimes if their buyer interest is in place or the deal is in really what matters for them, they can actually really not get you the best deal. They really were on my side, and it wasn't cheap, but I think that I could never really sell it by my own, or never by my own could get that price that I sold it for. So even though I paid a good amount of or chunk of money for the fees for the transaction, I think it was worth it 100% and I couldn't do it without them. So their name is Fortunet. It turned out to be true. Their kind of advice to me to wait a little longer and to structure it and to build it to be more ready for sale.
Yeah, we'll leave in the description the link to Fortunet so people can go and watch. I also have a video with Yael Kabily, who is one of the founders of Fortunet. So I'll leave it in the description too. There we kind of, Yael answered some questions about the process of selling or buying a business. So that can be also useful. So can you tell us about the process in your case? So you did through Sharon. We can leave her channel as well in the description for people to learn from Sharon. She also has a YouTube channel, and we're going to leave Tomer's YouTube channel. So there's going to be a lot of useful links. But once Sharon introduced you to Fortunet and I believe Yael, what happened then? Like, how the process went? Did you also send them profit and loss statement? I'm curious, how did it go from there?
Yeah, so basically we signed an agreement, of course, and after that we started to work on the numbers, and that's the most important thing, to understand where you are. And when you understand when you are, it's really helping you to focus on the key metrics that buyers are looking for, which is the SDE. And SDE, it's the number that, it's kind of your profits, but you add to them certain expenses that are not really related to the business. It could be education, it could be travel, it could be a lot of expenses that in a normal P&L, it will show as an expense, but it's actually expense that you put that is related to the owner. So what they are trying to do is trying to show the real profit of the business without the personal expenses, maybe not personal expenses, but expenses related to the solopreneur. So we cleaned the numbers and we made everything accurate. They asked me for a lot of things like the cost of goods, invoices from freight forwarders, and we kind of cleaned all the data, and then we built a plan of action. And this plan of action was planned toward showing more profits. So I had maybe 5 or 6 more products in the pipeline to launch, and we kind of paused these plans because launching new products eating your profit. If you don't know, when you launch new product on Amazon, usually at the beginning you lose money in order to make money later. So that doesn't really reflect in the P&L. P&L doesn't really know that you launched product or not. It just showed the bottom line. So we kind of pause those new launches, and we try to focus on even eliminating products that maybe were in the launch phase but didn't have good metrics. We didn't really push it. Maybe if you don't sell your business, you would keep pushing and wait more or have more patience, but here we didn't, and we kind of try to focus only on what produce profit while also keep having ideas in the pipeline. So a buyer can come and say, we can show them, look, but we also have those ideas in mind. We also have these products that we're thinking of launching. So they see that there is a future for your brand.
All right, so you're saying you gotta, once you're starting to kind of go towards that exit, you are trying to show most profits.
Yeah, because the multiple usually goes by the profit. So let's say you make 100,000 profit a year. Usually it's like for 3 or 4x. In my case, it was 4.2 upfront, and then I was supposed to get a little more after a year. I was very close to get another one, but it didn't work out. But I was happy with 4.2. Yeah. And basically it's 4.2x your yearly profits, or the SDE. So it could be 400,000 if you made 100, or whatever the amount that you made, or multiple it by that number. Today the numbers they went down. So basically, every extra dollar that you make would be 4.2 more dollars. So every 100,000 you show, which would be another 420,000. So it really makes a lot of difference.
And I understand that Fortunet, the guys, they kind of guided you to, like, because even as an experienced seller, maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you did know in a way, but like you were still launching products, and they told you like, wait, Tomer, like maybe like if you're actually exiting now, like it's not good. So they gave you some tips which were useful because they are professionals. They kind of want to get the best for you, if I understand right, as the seller, of course, for the buyer of the business. Okay, so you got these things ready. So you started working on your business, I guess, in order to eliminate these products. You stopped maybe the launches. Took you probably a while to get things in order. And then probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, probably you did another check with the guys. And what happened from there when the business was kind of ready to sell based on Fortunet and yourself and maybe the buyer? What happened next? Like, how do you
Yeah.
sell it? Like, how do you give it to someone? Like, did they take your password and email? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll explain you how it works. But before we continue with that,
Yeah.
you touched on a really important point. We are an Amazon seller, but we
Yeah.
don't have all of us, some of us, yes. But I didn't have a lot of experience with selling businesses. So they have that experience, they have that knowledge. So they guided me, and it was a year, 1 year process.
Oh,
I
wow.
had time, and also they suggested that I wait a year after I showed them the LOI. They said wait a year if you can, you can maximize. So we had a long enough time to really plan it. So we had monthly calls, and we were kind of planned it. And yes, they came and tell me, look, maybe this product, get rid of it. Maybe this, focus more. Maybe show more profit. So it was kind of fine tuning it throughout that year. After that year, we just went to market. They have like a little, just like a letter of sale. I forgot the actual term that it's called, but it's a long PDF. I think it's like 40 or 50 pages showing what your business is, giving some data to buyers. Not all data, of course, but it shares like, some slides, some of your products, and they send it to all their buyers, usually aggregators. But they also have some private equities buyers and stuff like that. And then after that, you start jumping on calls with people that are interested, buyers that are interested. And it's a very tiring process of answering the same kind of questions, back and forth, a call after a call. If you're lucky, to be honest, we didn't get a lot of calls as I were expecting. Even those calls were kind of long and not easy to deal with. And then after we had a buyer that was showing like really strong interest, and also we got few LOIs also after that process. But the best LOI that we got, we wanted to proceed, so we had also questions to them, and it was a process. After agreeing, it was actually a long process. After you sign the LOI, there is a process that is called the due diligence from the buyer, and they're going through checking every aspect of your business. You have to provide them a lot of documents, and this is very stressful to a lot of sellers. I was prepared by Fortunet that it's going to be a very tiring process, but to be honest, it wasn't that crazy for me, because I just broke it down into little pieces and gave it priority, and whatever they asked me, I tried to give it as soon as possible. And then the process itself, after signing and selling, it goes to an escrow account because it's a big amount. So escrow basically means that it sits in an account that no one can really touch it, not the buyer or the seller, unless both agree. I mean, unless the terms of the sale are met. So from my end, I transfer them all the assets, and when they approve it, the money goes to me. And basically you start giving them accesses. You transfer the domain name, you transfer if you have social media accounts, and then finally you change the password to it's a process on how you change the bank account, you change your credit card, and then you transfer the account itself.
Interesting, man. And then the money hits your bank account, right? Or wherever they agreed to send it to. Probably it's a bank account, right? Your bank account or PayPal. I don't know, like something like that, probably. Then again, based on how you probably agreed on, like maybe it's once a month, some sum, a big chunk of money, or maybe some amount after 6 months, some amount now, right? It's up to the buyer and the seller to agree for these things, right?
Yeah, it's part of the selling agreement. And in my case, it was one payment, and then also another payment for the inventory. That was after 3 months. They wanted to check and count everything. So that was 3 months after. And yeah, it goes directly to your bank account for security. In my process, it was really smooth. It was very easy process as far as the transaction itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna again leave all the links. Sourcing Monster, your YouTube channel, Sharon Evans that we mentioned her YouTube channel, Fortunet. And again, for those who are interested in selling or buying a business, right? Fortunet can also help people buy businesses, right? Not only sell, if I understand, or they're mainly helping people
Pretty
sell
sure.
businesses.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you're a buyer and you come to them,
Yeah,
they
because they have buyers, right?
they have a buyers list.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Okay.
basically can connect
Uh-huh.
you with a business. I'm pretty sure they're focused only on Amazon sellers, but maybe they expanded and they also do some Shopify stores as well. But they're mainly focused on Amazon sellers and businesses.
How did you feel about it? The big amount of money that hit your bank account. You sold the business that was like your creation for like a few years. How did it feel? What'd you think? What was your like were like, okay, next business, Amazon, like I want to do again an exit, or you were like, maybe I want to rest a little, or how did you feel about it? I'm curious. I never saw the business, so
Good question. So basically, I had this in mind for like a year and a half. So I wasn't really shocked. It wasn't a quick process that I would sell it after like a month and then it would come as a surprise. So I think that I allowed myself to kind of vision how it's going to look after. So when it really happened, it felt very weird because I saw the money, a big chunk of money, like over $1 million in my account, and I'm like, oh wow, that's a lot of money. But it didn't feel like it didn't really do anything. Like I was okay, the only time when I felt really strong emotion is when I called my father and I told him about that. I felt that he was really proud of me, and that felt like really good. But other than that, I didn't really have nothing. I thought that it will make me happy by taking like what I did is I gave my wife like $20,000. I took 10,000 and we said, let's just buy whatever like stuff we want. To be honest, I didn't even spend that 10,000. I spent 1,000, and then I felt like I'm not a materialistic person,
yeah.
so I don't care like what I wear and what car I drive and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe in the house we did some renovations and stuff, and that was nice. But really, after a few weeks, I already thought about what I do. I told you I traveled to India. I had a business adventure there that I still have in the YouTube space. We have like YouTube channels for kids. It's a new business that I started that is, I'm going with, and also another Amazon business. And it made me, for me, I felt like it's just the beginning. I want to do something much, much bigger than that. So I look at it as an experience for me to learn about how it works, to give me more knowledge and power for the next deal I'm going to do. So I definitely believe in Amazon. And I partnered with I wouldn't say a student, but a friend of mine that I introduced into Amazon, and he grew the brand by himself. And after me exiting, I kind of we joined together, and I bought 50% of his business, and together we kind of taking it and believe that it's going to be a big brand that we can do, hopefully like 8-figure exit or something bigger. So that's really the plan. But sometimes you plan a lot of things, and you get different results. So but at the same time, I believe that if you're serious and if you keep taking action like Vova does in everything that he does, and you just try and try things, eventually something will catch, eventually something
Yeah.
will work. So just keep learning, keep pushing yourself, and it's definitely feasible.
Nice, man. I mean, I guess you already gave a lot of tips for those who want to sell. So, like, we talked about preparing your business and, for being sold once you're, like in the process already. But for those who are starting, maybe for those who are maybe not even starting, like myself, I have like, our business does like a year, like in sales. This year, we're probably going to do like 700,000, 600, probably closer to that seven. So we're like, our margins are this year probably going to be like 25%, which is like less, like previous years were hovering around 20, but this year, like our prices are higher. What should I look at, man? Like if I want to sell this business, and I actually asked for, I think last year I got offered like 2.2, or actually this year earlier, 2.2 for the yearly profits of last year. So not as close to 4 or something, yeah. But what should we look at? Like those who are thinking of future exit, how should we structure our business? Maybe, what do you think?
Yeah, so first of all, I would give you advice, don't sell it for 2.2. Wait, don't be in a rush because it's all-time low. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense that you sell a business that, works and makes so much money for just 2.2 of your yearly earnings. It's
Yeah.
unheard of in any other business. So I don't think it's like sellers now shouldn't really sell for those numbers. Even if it's basically supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
The supply is higher than the demand, so basically that's why we see those numbers. But when the economy will kind of straighten and go up again, those numbers will go up. But what you can do in the process is to grow it. Sometimes you want to show a bigger revenue just to attract a bigger pool of buyers, just so rather than higher profit margins. Yes, they also look at margins, and it's something very important. But if
Yeah.
you like, maybe advice to you, Boba, because you're on the borderline between 6 to 7 figures, maybe
Yeah.
make a little less profit margin, grow it to a
Interesting.
7 figure, and then you open yourself to more eyes, more buyers. So, of course, it depends everyone and their situation. But for beginners, a little more beginners than you, it's just starting maybe, Their advice to them is to think about building the business ready to be sold. Have their P&L ready, have their cost of goods, their invoices, everything should be really organized, because it's really pain in the ass, excuse me for my language, to kind of look for it after a year or two, to look for all these invoices and all these kind of receipts and all this stuff. Every receipt that you have, while you have this, keep it in organized way in Google Drive or somewhere, and it will save you a ton of time and headaches.
Nice, man. Nice. Before we wrap it up, I mean, again, you shared a lot of advice already, and but what would be your advice for yourself?
Advice for myself in my Amazon career, or like in life, I would say in Amazon career.
In your business and Amazon, like as an entrepreneur, what would you advise yourself? So we can learn from the advice you give to yourself.
Yeah, it's constantly changing. I could talk to you now, and then in a month I would talk a little different. I always try to improve. So I think learning is really a key. And I learn from anyone. I learn from the most beginner guy to the most advanced guy. And I take it in perspective. I don't take it as granted. I don't take it like it's real, because it's real for him or for whoever is sharing the idea. So even I always tell this to my subscribers. Everything that I say through my experience and through my eyes. You should try it and see if it works for you or not. But you should always try things, take massive action. I think that's worked very well for me. I still try a lot of things, and not all of them working, but it's basic rule of numbers. You try more things, it's statistics. Certain things work, certain things not gonna work. So the more things you try, you have a higher chance of a lot of things to work. Discipline, I think discipline is something very important, because it allows you to execute your ideas and execute them and be more efficient, or just do what you tell yourself.
Yeah, man. Hope works out for you, man. Your new things that you're working on. I'll remind our viewers, Tomer has a YouTube channel. So check out Sourcing Monster. I would recommend you subscribing and checking out his videos. You have over 400, 500 good amount of videos, right? Do you remember the amount? You have a lot of videos in your channel.
I'm not sure I reached 400, but it's close to 400, yes.
So there's a lot of education, and there's a blog at sourcingmonster.com, I believe, right? Yeah, so it's all going to be in the description, including Sharon Evans' channel. She's also an Amazon seller YouTuber. Fortunet, the guys that can help you sell an Amazon business, buy, I believe, as well. But today we're talking mostly about selling. So it's all going to be linked in the description. Tomer's course for sellers. Is it for beginners mostly, the course, or it's like for any? Because you've reached very high level on Amazon. Like making 7-figure exit is like, good level stuff, man. So, but the course itself, is it more for beginners, kind of starter on Amazon, or for everyone?
It's really good for beginners and also for advanced. Beginners will find it really complete kind of course, because it's guide them from the first. I really put a lot of emphasis on the mindset that requires to success on Amazon. And I felt this is a gap that not a lot of courses are talking about. So the first module, I think, just focus on how you can set yourself up to success. What are the routines that I did? What are the things that I took that are not just related to Amazon, that could help you in any business that you start or do or operate, to really set you up for this success, like time and productivity, and how you manage yourself, and how you plan your future, and how you leave yourself time for learning. All those stuff I didn't really see in one place that are being covered. So I try to really focus on that to make it a little different than other courses, which is good for everyone. I think any seller can learn from it. Even if you're selling for a long time, you can really learn from those things that I learned on myself. I had to figure them out. And then you have this structure from the beginning, like PPC and all of that. And inside each module, like PPC, you have also very advanced stuff. So it's good for both.
Perfect, man. So again, we're going to leave all the links in the description for everything that we've talked about today. Tomer, thank you for your time, man. It's awesome, man, what you did. Like, it's good stuff. It doesn't, it didn't just come from nowhere. It was a lot of investing of time from your side, learning. And what I really liked is that you said you learn from everyone. That's a very good mindset, man. There's really a lot to learn from everyone, like literally everyone that you meet. I see things this way, and most of the people, or if not all of them, some I didn't have the time to talk to kind of learn enough. Maybe it was just a short enough talk, but I'm pretty sure, like, if pretty much every person that I had a talk with for like a little while, I definitely learned something. So that's definitely a good mindset, man. And I hope that your next ventures that you have, like the business with your business partner, educational business, also going to grow, man. And hopefully things go well for you. Thank you for being a guest with us. Again, all the links are in the description for our viewers. Thank you for watching. Tomer, man, thank you very much. It was interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for also teaching me and sharing with me a lot of ideas. And you're definitely inspiration for me as well. And I
Thank
learned
you.
from you a lot. So thank you.
Thank you.